If I want to get faster, I'm going to hire a track coach maybe once or twice a week. And if I'm going to get stronger, I'm going to hire a PT or a strength and conditioning coach to be able to work on strength and power. I might see a physio on a regular basis or a chiropractor or a myotherapist. And then why do I get the feeling that we all secretly hate each other?
Because you're a cynic, mate. We're one cog in the wheel of performance. And I try and continually drive that message, because what ego does is separates those cogs. There's a spectrum here from doctor to physio to EP to performance, and sometimes ego lets that spectrum get out of check. Trying to defend your own space, you probably let your ego get in the way of what is actually best for the athlete, which is so ironic.
If it's just one coach or it's a combination of two or three, the ability for those professionals to collaborate effectively for your best interest is maybe one of the hardest things to get done.
And that comes from trust and probably education. You think medical professions such as your physios, chiros, osteos, that I guess group of professionals, and do they trust the fitness industry? Because they're lumping us into the fitness industry. So most of my time I spend with the professionals these days is educating them on what we do, and there's no better way than getting them to come down and watch a session. And 9 times out of 10 the comment is, oh, I thought you guys were just PTs. They're missing the trust in the industry, and that's why there's no collaboration. And I think with COVID, it's not going to bring us closer together. I think it's going to push us further apart. Everyone is going to be looking after their own home. There is going to be a lack of money within sports due to what's happening.
We have such a bad stigma attached to what we do as professionals. Just educating people the difference between the fitness industry and the sports performance industry, because it is a remarkable difference. There is always going to be the risk of ego stepping in. There's always going to be the risk of, I might need to keep this person as a client for another 5 weeks so I can get an extra 5 consultation fees. Get your coach to connect with your physio. Get your coach to connect with your track coach. Talk about the periodization, talk about the plan, get them on board, create buy-in.
Create a team of coaches for you.
That's my favourite part of the job, is like bringing together all of these parts of performance.
Yeah.
To create the best result for the athlete. That's my first question to an athlete. Especially if they've had an injury, who have you seen for it? Yes. Is it an acute injury?
Can I have their details? Yeah.
I hope you've seen the physio. What's his details? What was the report that you got from him or her? If that's not the first question that your coach asks you when you've had an injury, for example, or whatever it may be, and that's where issues come into play. I know best, so do what I say. I know best, so do what I say. I know best, so do what I say.
Yeah. Physios, sports doctors and chiropractors are literally what they say goes. But there's a fine line sometimes in rehabilitation, and that lack of trust with our industry is like, maybe they could get away with 5 weeks, and they probably support that as well, but they just don't want to pass it on to someone else without knowing them.
Well, I wouldn't hand them over, given what you see in the fitness industry. Yeah, that could be old mate down at your Fitness First who's done a 3-month PT course, like Brett said, and doesn't know how to deadlift himself.
Yeah.
If you're returning from a bloody slip disc, you're not allowed to do anything for 10 weeks, because that's better than what you're going to do with old mate that doesn't know what he's doing.
I agree.
But if there's education around that, possibly, get back in 5 weeks.
If they aren't prepared to work together properly, shuffle around experts so that you can get and find people that are going to work collectively for you. Doctors. I saw a sports doctor about my back, which I popped a disc very badly, and that doctor and surgeon said that I needed to have surgery, all right, and I should never lift weights ever again. Okay, see another specialist, and he's like, you need to start training because it's everything that's going to keep your spine stabilized, and I knew that. Even your sports coach needs to be a part of that team. Would you be correct?
Absolutely. They're the manager of your overall results,
And what better way to go back to your coach and say, by the way, coach, my sports performance coach, or my strength and conditioning coach, or my track coach, or my physio wants to touch base with you about my training group.